So now we're going to be going on into part 4 where we're going to be talking about future value formula. In the previous parts we talked about mainly grade 11, so now we're going to be starting off with grade 12. So let's go ahead and dive right into the future value formula. So when you're thinking about the future value formula, just notice that all of these instructions that we're going to be given here, or all of these scenarios that we're going to be given, the money going to be having it later, right? So it's not something that you get it now, it's something that you get in the future. Hence, we call it a future value formula. So we're going to be starting off with the first instruction here of this part. Then we're going to go on and continue with other parts. All right. So the instruction goes like this. On her 25th birthday, Ellen decides to start saving for retirement. 1 month after her 25th birthday, she takes out an annuity retirement and immediately pays 1,000 into the account. She continues making monthly payments of 1,000 until she retires on her 65th birthday. Interest is calculated at 7.3% per annum compounded monthly. Now, how much money will be in her annuity when she retires? All right. So now here, we're dealing with the future value formula. So I think we're gonna start off by first writing the information that we're given here. So we see here that Ellen is putting in per month. So I'm gonna put X 1,000 rand, right, as 1,000 rand. Okay, so now what else do we get here? Another thing that we get here is the interest, or rather compound period that Ellen is using. She's basically putting these 1,000 rands per month, right? And then now here, the interest, it is 7.3% per annum compounded monthly. So I'm going to divide that by 12. Then now when you check on the number of years, right? So we're basically going to ask ourselves that how long did it take for Ellen to actually do the savings, right? So Ellen started right after her 25th birthday, and then will basically take out on her 65th birthday. So it means now the difference between 25th and 65th, it should be 40 years, right? So it means now here the number of years will then be 40, right? Then now the last part is how many, right? How many payments or how many savings did Ellen make? And that will be N. So to get N, we will take 12 and multiply that by 40, right? So which means now we need to calculate what is going to be our future value, right? So therefore, future value here, usually you can put it as FV, or you can just put it as F. Let me just put it as FV for now, or let me just give it as F, is equals to X into 1 plus I to the power of N minus 1 over I. Alright, so now from here, because of we already calculating F, so which means we can just substitute everything like that. I have 1 plus, now here always write it as 7.3% over 12 to the power of 12 times 40. I'm going to put it as 12 times 40 in the meantime, minus 1 over 7.3% over 12. Alright, so now all we have to do is to just press this in our calculator and see what we get here. So now by pressing this into our calculator, we have our 1,000 rand, 1 plus 7.3%, and then we divide this by 12. We raise it into the power of 12 times 40, subtract this by 1 over 7.3, remember the percentage, percent over 12, and then this is what we get. So Ellen will have 2,856,657 rand, comma 21 cent, and that is basically how we calculate our future value. Now notice that here, remember when we spoke about n, notice that here when we talk about n in the future value, n is basically perceived differently, right? Now when we talked about compound interest, we said that n here, it tells you how many times was interest charged, right? So it can stay as that, right? It's still there. But then now when you're talking about the future value formula, we're mainly focusing on, right, the number of times that the number, let me just write it here, the number of savings made, right? Or number of times X was deposited. So X is basically the 1,000 rand that LN was depositing here, and that is basically the only difference here when we viewing that value for N, right? Because it means this can be different, right? This can be different if now LN, even though we're working up until her 65th birthday, but then now Ellen decides to do that up until she turns 64, but then not do anything, right, up until she turns 65, right? So it becomes different on that scenario, right? So that's basically that, and that's it for this video, and I want to see you on to the next part. Cheers.